Mic check. Yeah.
Okay, well, you're live.
Hello and welcome to Chuck Griffith Jr. Field here in Wheat Ridge, Colorado.
Holy shit, you're peaking. You're super peaking. Just go ahead, talk.
And so we are underway here from Wheat Ridge, the Colorado Rough Riders and the Boulder Collegians. Hi, everybody. Ethan Jordan alongside you. We're joining you a little bit late here. We had some internet troubles, but hopefully, because we solved those, we should be with you for the entire game. Still nothing, so you haven't missed much. Collegians have a man on second. It's Kix Farrell. He reached on an error with one away in this inning. Moved up to second base. Now Hunter Hudson, the batter for Boulder. And Hudson grounds one right back to the mound. And Kimenow throws him out at first base. Meanwhile, Hudson moves Farrell up to third base. So runner at third, two away for the bottom of the order and Nick Hall. Let's get you caught up a little bit here. Collegians in the in the bottom of the first, and if you're wondering, well, why are the Collegians the home team? They're wearing gray and they're not at their home field. If you remember, it was not last Friday, but the Friday before, the Collegians against the Colorado Rough Riders up in Boulder. That game was supposed to be a doubleheader, but because of weather, they only played one game here this afternoon. Ball gets away from the catcher. Here comes Farrell. Flip to the plate. Not in time, and the Collegians take the lead. Kix Farrell comes across, so still not a hit in the inning for the Collegians, but they get a run. As Farrell reached on the air, Hudson moved him up, and then he reaches home plate on the pass ball. Wild pitch. Is that thing with your mic still happening? Because I'm quiet to me. No, remember when you had that setting or whatever?
Yeah, I know.
First pitch to Hall is upstairs. Or next pitch to Hall, I should say. Collegians in the bottom of the first inning. Had two men aboard, but couldn't bring either. Hall watches one down low, so a 3-ball count to Nick Hall. For the Rough Riders, so far, they've had a man aboard in each inning. But thus far, Chris Rodriguez has held them at bay. He allowed a leadoff single to Jordan McClellan in the first. Hall watches one down low for ball 4. So another man aboard here for Boulder with 2 away. And back to the top of the order in Brennan Roselle. But as for the Rough Riders, they had that man on in the first. But then Rodriguez struck out the side afterward to get out of that inning. And then in the second, he got the first out, allowed a walk, and then rolled a double play. So Chris has been rolling on the mound. Collegians have given him a lead now. Nothing here in the bottom of the second. Rosella ground ball to third his first time up, and he'll line one into right field for a base hit. Drive off the bat of Brennan Roselle, but it falls in nicely for his first hit today. Second hit of the day for Boulder. Base runner. They've had a hit and a walk in each inning. Or, their fifth base runner. Of course, Farrell reaching on the air. Chris Amador, the batter. He walked in the first inning, made it all the way to third base, but did not score. Look back at second. And back in time is Nick Hall. This one grounded to third. Nice pickup over there by Crenshaw, and he throws out Chris Amador to end the inning. So through 2, the Collegians lead it. We'll be right back here on the Collegians Broadcast Network. 1-0 Collegians here as we get ready for inning number 3 from Wheat Ridge's home park. The Farmers play their home games here at Chuck Griffith Jr. Field, though it's not on the campus of Wheat Ridge High School. It's all decked out in the blue and yellow of the Farmers. Chris Rodriguez misses high to Evan Crenshaw. You'll see 8, 9, and 1 Crenshaw, Erickson, and McClellan in the inning. He's been rolling so far, and he misses high here. 2 balls and no strikes. Rodriguez, fastball slider mix, throw changeup as well. 2-0, swing and a miss. He's been sitting about 86 to 87 with the fastball here today. Touched 88 once. And that's about where he'll sit with that typically, is 2-1 pitch. Fastball from Crenshaw was behind it, 2-2. Legion's a pair of games here today. Not on the schedule as 2 games, but they're making up a rain out here in game 1. Swing and a miss by Crenshaw, and he's gone on strikes. Strikeout 4 for Chris Rodriguez here this afternoon. And he'll face Jeff Erickson now, the DH, hitting in the 9-hole. Collegians have seen the Rough Riders twice this year, beaten them handily both times. Once here, once up in Boulder. First pitch to Erickson, towards second. Nice play by Farrell, diving to his left, on a knee, throws him out. Fine defensive effort there from Kix Farrell, and there's 2 away here in the 3rd. Hicks was telling us on Sunday, he joined us in the booth, or the pseudo booth we had up there in Fort Collins, and he said this is really his first time since high school playing second base. Hard to tell from that play. Jordan McClellan, the batter now. He's going to have to get something out of his eye. A bit of a breeze blowing towards him in that right-hand batter's box. Blowing in from right field. He singled in the first, stole second, but didn't make it any farther. And he'll watch one high over his head for ball 1. The thing to note about Rodriguez today is despite allowing McClellan on, we talked about it in a previous broadcast, and whenever he's allowed that first base runner on, has gotten into the stretch, that's when he's really struggled. But he allowed McClellan on with the single, and he struck out the next 3 batters. So he's looked pretty good out of the stretch today. I mean, the batters he's faced out of the stretch, he's either struck out or gotten to roll into a double play. So you can't argue with that. And he pumps in a strike here to McClellan. Jordan was an all-star for these Rough Riders. 2-1 on him here. Rodriguez into the motion out of the windup and missed just low with it. 3-1 now to McClellan. Rough Riders have had a tough go of things so far this year. 1-12 is their record. 3-1, swing and a miss. McClellan took a healthy hack at a fastball on the outside and couldn't get a piece of it. Collegians 13-13, and even 500 on the year. They fell to the Colorado Sox and swing and a miss. McClellan is retired. Let me correct myself. The Collegians are 14-13. One of the games not input here into our system. So just misreading that there. They're 14-13 after getting the win in Fort Collins on Sunday. And they're ahead 1-0 here in Wheat Ridge. We'll take a break. 1-0 Boulder, bottom of 3 on the way. put that in pretty soon. The Sox game hasn't really put in either.
Weird that they can't like pick the opponent team as a team that exists.
Yeah, I know, right?
It just adds to their sense too.
Right, that would make sense, right? No one's doing game changer. I'll go yell at him to do game changer for the next game. Try and put it in between innings. Nicarivo pops one foul. Levenstein's got a beat on it over there at first base. He makes the grab for the first out of the bottom of the third inning. So Arrivo gone on one pitch here in the third. That'll bring up Chris Jimenez. Jimenez a single, stolen base in the first, made it no further than second. Collegians up 1-0. They scored their lone run in the second inning. Kicks Farrell reached on an error, was brought around to third by Hunter Hudson on a ground ball, and then scored on a wild pitch. Tanner Kimenow into the motion, brings it home and right down Broadway for Chris Jimenez, 0-1. Collegians 14-13 this year. Got a big win on Sunday against the Fort Collins Foxes at their place in City Park in Fort Collins. Jimenez pops this one down the line. Levenstein's giving chase, can't get there. It'll be strike two. But the team to look out for, it seems, in the Rocket. They are red hot right now, are the Sox. Currently tied with the Foxes in first place in the league standings. Collegians will see them again next week after the 4th of July. I think Saturday is that game. This one is low in the dirt. They'll have a couple of single games. They have the 4th of July tournament on Thursday. Then Friday, I believe they see the game day Saints in Boulder, and then the Sox on Saturday. Jimenez reaching for one. Pops it down the line. Another chance for Levenstein's. And this time he's got it for the second out. So a pair of pop-ups to the first baseman have two away for Tanner Kimenow in the third. Connor Kostecka will try his luck. He flew out to center in the first inning. Well, let's take another look at those standings, as both those teams the Collegians will see rest ahead of them in the RMBL standings, the Saints and the Sox. So the Sox and the Foxes tied atop the standings. As this one is popped high in the air by Kostecka. Just in shallow center field, McClellan comes in to grab it, and that will end the inning. We'll update you on the standings when we come back, but we'll take a quick break. 3 innings through the first game here in Wheat Ridge, 1-0 Boulder on the Collegians Broadcast Network. Top of 4 here at Wheat Ridge High School. Well, at least the field of the Wheat Ridge High School Farmers here at Everett Middle School, Wheat Ridge, Colorado. The Boulder Collegians and the Colorado Rough Riders. One away in this 4th inning as Nick Schiffner flew out to the right fielder, Kelby Richardson. Tate Whittington standing in now against Chris Rodriguez. Rodriguez has been working quickly and working well so far. Pumps in another strike to Whittington. Boulder up 1-0. We apologize for cutting out the broadcast for just a moment, but we wanted to add a couple more things to your broadcast, an extra camera angle, just making it that much better for your viewing experience as Whittington swings and misses, and he has gone on strikes. It's Chris Rodriguez's 6th strikeout here for through 3 2/3. Rodriguez will get Nick Levenstein's now. Levenstein struck out in the first. For as good as Levenstein's has been this year and in his career, high school, his first year of college, and here with the Rough Riders, the strikeouts have always been the issue. This one misses high. Ball 1. That was his biggest problem down at North Georgia this past season. Hit well for power, but the average brought down due to those Ks. Already has one here against Rodriguez, but he's up 2-0 as Chris misses inside to him. Rodriguez seems to have figured something out pitching-wise. We've always seen the stuff from Chris, and well, there's times you think, well, this guy's the best pitcher on the team, maybe other than Jackson Hewlett. 2-0, fouled away by Levensteins. And then all of a sudden you look down and he's given up 5 runs, and you say, well, how in the heck did that happen? But it's because whenever he's gone into the stretch this year, for some reason, every pitcher's going to allow a walk and a hit no matter how good they are at some point. Once that happens, everything seemed to unravel. 2-1, Levenstein's back to the screen with it. But now, for Rodriguez, it seems in this game, he's figured something out coming from the stretch. He pitched well against the Sox the other day, as it should be noted. Only gave up 1 run, I think, in 5 innings of work. So recently for him, something seems to have clicked. He's been rolling here. 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. A pair of strikeouts to end the inning for Chris Rodriguez. He's got 7 through 4. And the Collegians lead it 1-0 here on the Collegians Broadcast Network. RMBL baseball here in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. 1-0, the Boulder Collegians lead the Colorado Rough Riders. Bottom of the 4th inning. Kelby Richardson will lead it off for Boulder. He led off the 2nd inning with a well-hit ball to left center field, but Jordan McClellan made a fine play in the gap to grab it. Really took a nice route, got a great jump on the ball hit by Kelby, and got the out. Richardson had himself a day here. Last time the Collegians were in town, the 1-0 is inside. 2-0 on Kelby. He had been slumping to begin his Collegians career, and then all of a sudden against the Rough Riders, he went off and was hot for a couple of games. He pops one into center. This one hit well, and it's off the wall. Richardson will stride into second base, and Kelby's got himself a double. 2 well-hit balls to center field for Kelby Richardson. One of them stolen away by McClellan. This one he couldn't get to, and it's a double. So with Richardson aboard, that'll bring up kicks Farrell. Farrell scored the Collegians' lone run of the ball game after reaching on an error, moving up to second on that play. Moved over by Hunter Hudson to third and then scored on a wild pitch. Kimenow gives Richardson a look, still staring him down out there at second base. Now turns his attention to the plate and delivers. Farrell grounds it back up the middle. Grabbed there by Ducat, and the throw to first is in time to retire kicks Farrell. So with Farrell retired, up comes Hunter Hudson. On the play, Richardson moves to third, so productive at bat for kicks Farrell, as now Hudson is a fly ball away from driving in the Collegians' second run. But by the way, on Kelby Richardson, last time he was here, he was 3 for 5 with 3 singles and 2 RBIs. Until that point, he had not recorded a hit as a Collegian. So it was a big game for him. He carried a lot of that momentum into Farmington, where he had a couple big hits for the Collegians. This one missing inside to Hunter Hudson. Hudson wouldn't mind another ground ball here like he got in the second inning, though probably in a different location. As his was right back to the pitcher, looking to put this one up the middle to try and drive in the run, as the shortstop Ducat is playing back. So ground ball should bring the run home, depending on how it's hit. And Hudson takes one outside for the second ball. Corners are in here, so they'll be going home with it, or at least looking back Kelby Richardson. And interestingly enough, the second baseman Hartojo is in, but the shortstop is not. And Hudson grounds one past the first baseman Levensteins into right field. That's a base hit and an RBI for Hunter Hudson, and the Collegians take a 2-0 lead. Levensteins tried to grab it with the backhand, but that was just what they call a base hit from Hunter Hudson. So Collegians double their lead here. 2-0 our score. And Nick Hall to the bat. Hall starting at first base here in game 1. He's gotten increasingly more starts at first base, taking a strike. Here recently, he was originally a third baseman for these Collegians, but I think the last couple games or so he's been playing first. I think he had maybe one third base game sprinkled in there, but it's been mostly first base for Nick Hall of late. The 0-1 to him misses below the knees. Hall will look down to Mark Goodman, the third base coach. He's got his sign here. There's the possibility of a bunt, but not likely. And a curveball drops in for strike 2. Now the possibility of a bunt pretty much erased with 2 strikes. Despite that, the third baseman Crenshaw still playing in towards that cut of the grass. And Hall just gets a piece of this one in and out of the glove, but they're going to say no, he didn't get a piece of it. He's gone on strikes. So Hall is retired. And that'll bring up the top of the order and Brennan Roselle. Roselle a single in the second. Was left stranded there at first base. Trying to move Hudson around with 2 away. And Roselle lines one down the left field line. That one will fall in. It's going to roll towards the foul pole. Hudson will dig for third. He'll be there. Roselle up to second. And so now with 2 away, the Collegians have a pair of runners in scoring position for Chris Amador. So Roselle, since grounding out in the first inning, has the first 2 pieces of a cycle. A single in the second, now the double in the fourth. How hot has he been of late? One of the all-stars for the Collegians. Amador, the batter. He walked and grounded out in this one. Nice pick made over there at third base by Crenshaw. Got the out in the second against him. And Amador Watches one just outside for ball one. Pretty good looking pitch that time from Kimenow, but it missed. Should be noted that the infield is a little bit damp out there as the breaking ball drops in. Just before we got underway here from Everett Middle School, had a pretty good rain shower, but typical of Colorado, lasted for about 10 minutes. And it's been clear ever since. Still cloudy skies. Amador up the middle. Hartojo's got it, throws on the run to get the out and retire the side. But Boulder strikes for one more. They lead it 2-0. We're on to the fifth here from Wheat Ridge's field, Chuck Griffith Jr. Field to be exact. We'll be right back here on the Collegians Broadcast Network. Two nothing Collegians here from Chuck Griffith Field in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Last of just a handful of league games, or the first of just a handful of league games left for the Collegians before the league tournament. I believe that tournament begins the 19th of July. By the way, happy July, everybody. The first July broadcast of Boulder Collegians baseball. Chris Rodriguez pumps in another strike to Hayden Harris. He's up 1-2 on Harris. Harris, a ground ball back to Rodriguez his last time. And Harris pops this one foul. Of course, July means the 4th of July is nearly upon us, and that means the 4th of July tournament for the Boulder Collegians at Scott Carpenter Park. Hope to see you on the 4th. Great viewing of the Boulder fireworks from the field, so definitely a spot to think about coming out to do your firework viewing. 1-2, misses inside, and, well, add on to that a little bit of baseball, and you've got yourself a recipe for success on the 4th. Collegians will play 2 games that day. There's 4 games going on at Scott Carpenter Park on the 4th of July. It's an interleague tournament between the RMBL, the Rocky Mountain Baseball League, of course, our league here with the Collegians and the Rough Riders. Next pitch to Harris. He reaches for it, pops it down the right field line. Richardson will give it a look, but it's out of play. And between the Mile High Collegiate Baseball League, we saw a team from the Mile High Baseball League against the Collegians a few days ago, the Fort Collins Bandits. Just an example. A couple other teams will travel to Boulder for that tournament. This one lined into right field. That's a base knock for Harris. And he is aboard with just the second hit against Chris Rodriguez today. Rodriguez has been spectacular. No runs allowed through 4 innings. He's got 7 strikeouts. He was similarly great against the Colorado Sox back on the 18th of June. That was down, I should say, in Dievelin. He allowed 1 run through 5 innings. Unfortunately, he got no run support behind him, and the Collegians ultimately fell in that game 2-1. The Sox have really had their number this year. This one popped high in the air from Nico Hartojo, and once again we'll get out of play off the auxiliary building over there behind the first base dugout. But, I mean, you really think about it, the Collegians have beaten, I think, every team in this league, except for the Colorado Sox. They'll see the Sox one more time. I want to say that game is Saturday. It's either Friday or Saturday, one of the two. This one is outside on low. The other game will be the game day Saints, who the Collegians are 1-2 against this year. Or 1-1 against, pardon me. They've played 2 games against them. Both of those games coming down in Parker, so first time they'll see the Saints at home. Hartojo watches this one low. 2-1 on Nico. For that 4th of July tournament, the Collegians will play at 11 o'clock. They have the first game of the tournament, so that's 11 a.m. in Boulder. Then they'll have the last game of the tournament at 6:30. This one fouled back to the screen on the bounce, and it's 2-2. And, of course, that game, the 6:30 game, pretty much following it, though maybe just starting at the end of the game, will be those fireworks in Boulder that you'll be able to see from Scott Carpenter Park. So get yourself a dog, watch some baseball, then enjoy some fireworks. Come on out to Scott Carpenter Park on Thursday for Independence Day. 2-2 from Rodriguez, breaking ball that's popped high in the air. Hall will watch it go out of play. And once again, that building will get another baseball. One bounces off the roof, so they'll be able to get that one back. So it stays 2-2 on Hartojo. And Toledo will bring in a new game ball. Give it to the umpire before we resume play. 2-0 Boulder. 5th inning of play here in Wheat Ridge. Man aboard for the Rough Riders. It's a courtesy runner for the catcher, Harris. This one lined into right field. It's another knock. So back-to-back hits to begin this inning for Pick. Back to second base. Is it in time? No. They say the man got his foot in there. Kosteka thought otherwise, but he'll be safe at second base. So with 2 men aboard, David Ducat, the shortstop, will swing it. Hainsley at second, the courtesy runner for Harris, and Hartojo at first. Both of those guys, Harris and Hartojo, singled to begin this 5th inning. And this is the time to strike if you're the Rough Riders against Chris Rodriguez, as he's really shown no cracks in the armor thus far. Certainly the best chance they've had against him today. Ducat stood in with the runner at first his last time up and then grounded into a double play. Rodriguez looking for a similar result here. Chris comes set, checks the runner, double checks him, brings it home. Spikes this one, it gets away from Jimenez. It came in really hot and bounced off the chest protector of Chris and sprayed way over towards the first base dugout. Allows both runners to move up. So now a pair in scoring position and the chance of the double play erased here against David Ducat. That's the one thing you've seen from Rodriguez here today is he's overthrown a couple pitches, a few wild pitches from him. Needs to avoid that here with that runner at third base. 1-0. Missed low with it. First base is open. Having Crenshaw, the 8-hole hitter, on deck. Here's Rodriguez's 2-0 offering. Fine play by Jimenez. Going over to that left-handed batter's box to keep that one in front of him and save a run. And so you wonder if they'll even try and go after Ducote here. But first base open, seems no reason to give in. Though he would be the go-ahead run, that might be the one consideration, and they'll walk him here. Jimenez has it skip away, but able to recover it and hold the runner at third base. So 3 straight men reach here to begin the 5th inning against Chris Rodriguez. Now he's really going to have to go to work to retain this lead for Boulder. And they lead it 2-0. Bases full of Rough Riders, and Evan Crenshaw standing into the right-hand batter's box. Crenshaw struck out in the 3rd. And takes strike 1 here. Great location from Rodriguez on the fastball, painting the black on the outside corner. Needs a couple more pitches like that. The double play's back in order. The corners are in. They'll go home with it. The middle, I think, will concede the run and roll the double play. 0-1. Ground ball down the line. That's a foul ball. Awfully close there for Crenshaw. Just outside that line, down and left. So it's allowed strike 2. Now Rodriguez a strike away from working what would be a huge strikeout for him. Crenshaw adjusts his placket of his collar, the chain as well. Rodriguez waiting for him on the mound. Chris comes set. Here's his 0-2. Breaking ball. This one a little further foul down that third baseline, and it'll stay 0-2. Hainsley at third base. Hartojo at second. Ducote at first. And Blue will say, we need those baseballs that he fouled over there. And so they'll grab both of them. The bullpen is at work for the Collegians, with our runners saying, being on, and Isaac Parks, who's down there, says, I'm ready to go whenever you need me. 0-2 pitch from Rodriguez. Swing on a miss. He struck him out. A big pitch there from Chris Rodriguez. Went up the ladder on Crenshaw. He obliged. And there's one away here in the 5th. Chris Rodriguez trying to tiptoe out of danger here. Bases loaded. One away. Jeff Erickson at the plate. You got to imagine they want to go get Erickson and not bring up the all-star Jordan McClellan. Swing and a miss from Erickson. They'd love a double play here to keep McClellan waiting in that on-deck circle, or at the very least bring him up with 2 away. A 1. This one lined into left field. That'll be a base knock, and it ought to tie up the ball game. Hartojo makes the turn at third. Throw coming to the plate is not in time. They'll go back to third with it, and safe at third base is Ducote. So we have a tie game here in Wheat Ridge, 2-2. And still danger on the base paths from the Rough Riders. First and third, runners on the corners for the all-star Jordan McClellan. This is not the guy you want to see up if you're Chris Rodriguez. And in fact, Rodriguez will not see him as his afternoon comes to a close. So Chris will stride towards the dugout. New pitcher coming on for the Collegians. We'll introduce you when we come back here on the Collegians Broadcast Network, tied at 2. Parks comes on to pitch here for the Collegians. 5th inning of play, tie ball game, 2-2 our score. Runners at the corners, top of the order, and Jordan McClellan up for the Rough Riders. Jeff Erickson just gave them a lead, or the tie, with a 2 RBI single. Throw down to second as he tries to steal it. They'll go back to home with it. Throw from Farrell is not in time. And the Rough Riders take the lead as Ducote slides in safe to home plate. Pretty good throw on the money from Farrell, maybe a little bit high. And then has slapped the tag on him, but Ducote got the hand in. So safe at second base was Erickson. McClellan can increase this lead to 2 with a single. He'll take a strike here on a breaking ball. That breeze picking up just a little bit, blowing across right field, maybe a little bit inwards from it. 0-1 from Parks. Swing and a miss by McClellan as he went after one well out of the zone. Parks on the season, 17 1/3 innings pitched. It's just been of late that he's become a bullpen pitcher, but he's done well doing that. In those 17 1/3 innings pitched, he's got a 3.63 ERA. Breaking ball called, strike 3, and McClellan is retired on strikes for the second time this afternoon, this time courtesy of Isaac Parks. Nick Schiffner, another all-star for these Rough Riders, at the bat. Schiffner struck out and flown out. Hit it hard out to right field, but Richardson got a beat on it just in front of that baseball lettering in right. Made the grab. Schiffner takes a strike here from Isaac Parks. Another breaking ball from Isaac, his 3rd in a row. His last outing for Isaac Parks was a 3 1/3 inning performance against the NoCo Bandits. We'll leave this one downstairs for Schiffner, 1-1. And that was a huge performance from Parks on the hill because in that game, the Collegians were down to the Bandits. It was the second game of the doubleheader. Fires in a strike here, breaking ball. And he came in and gave them 3 1/3 great innings. Gave up 1 earned run, but gave the Collegians a chance to win in that one, and they did. They swept the Bandits in the doubleheader, and in no small part thanks to Isaac Parks. 1-2. Another breaking ball, this one too far outside. Schiffner leaves it there, and it's 2-2. Erickson at second, runs fairly well. Parks checks on him, brings home the 2-2, and misses low and outside again. Full count here to Nick Schiffner. Schiffner joined us on the broadcast actually during that All-Star game, during the All-Star festivities with his teammate Nick Levensteins, who's in the hole currently, winning the home run derby. He came on to offer some commentary to Nick during the game, and he swings and misses here. Strike 3, and he is gone. Isaac Parks, terrific work out of the bullpen, holds the deficit at just 1 for the Collegians. 3-2. We're on to the bottom of 5 here in Wheat Ridge. 3-2 our score. We'll be right back. Bottom of the fifth here in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Collegians and the Colorado Rough Riders going at it. Rough Riders have taken the lead 3-2. They had a 3-run top of the fifth inning. Collegians looking to answer back, beginning with Nick Arrivo here in their half of this fifth inning. Nick swings and misses at a high fastball. He's down in the count, 0-2. Strikeout and a pop-up for Arrivo thus far. Guy who's largely been considered, if not the best hitter on the team, one of the best hitters on the team. He's been slumping a bit lately. Pops this one to short. Ducote out to get it, and he'll grab it for the first out. So Arrivo retired, and stands Chris Jimenez. Jimenez a single in the first and a pop out in the third. Collegians would love to win another league game here, or two, as this is a doubleheader against the Rough Riders. They currently sit 3 games back from first place. The Sox officially are in first place. This one misses high, though they're tied record-wise with the Fort Collins Foxes. They have not only the tiebreaker against the Foxes, I believe, but the runs allowed category is in the Sox favor. Jimenez takes a strike. That's a category that, well, the Collegians just aren't going to worry too much about. How about that? They've allowed 102 compared to the Sox and the Foxes 69 and 61. This one misses, 2-1 on Jimenez, so they're not going to catch up in that category anytime soon. So they would have to win the league outright. Jimenez fouls this one off the mask of the catcher Harris. 2-2 to Harris's counterpart, Chris Jimenez. Boulder currently sits in fourth, despite being 9-8 in the league. They're a half game behind the Game Day Saints. Or excuse me, they're a half game. Yeah, they are a half game behind the Game Day Saints. They're tied with the Denver Cougars. And Jimenez strikes out, swing and a miss from him. And well, here, Kimenow seems to have figured something out on the mound after giving up those early runs and then giving up a couple early on last inning. He's been through a couple batters with no problem. But the Collegians are a half game out of third place and 3 games out of first or second place, with the Sox and the Foxes tied atop the league. Connor Kostecka watches one low. He's flown to center field twice thus far. Just getting underneath of the baseball. You saw the shoulder drop, especially on his last attempt in the third. These Rough Riders, as Kostecka flies one again, this time to left field. Whittington's got a beat on it down the line, makes the grab, and ends the inning. So good job on the mound by Tanner Kimenow to come out and get a 1-2-3 inning after his team takes the lead. On to the 6th inning of play here from Wheat Ridge, 3-2 Rough Riders.
Peak at 24. Pretty good stream quality.
Art's back on to work for the Collegians here in the 6th inning. Came out of the bullpen in the 5th and promptly got 2 strikeouts to end that 5th frame. Go to work against the middle of the order. Tate Whittington, Nick Levenstein, and Ian Harris. 3-2, the Rough Riders lead the Collegians. Game 1 of 2 between the two teams today. Out of the way of a breaking ball, it's 1-0. Bit of an odd doubleheader today in the fact that the Collegians are the home team for the first game. They'll be the away team for the second. Breaking ball drops in, 1-1. Cause for that is the Rough Riders were at the Collegians place up in Boulder, not last Friday, but the Friday before. 1-1. Low. On that day, it rained quite a bit up in Boulder. They only got one of the 2 games in between the teams, a scheduled doubleheader, so they're making up the second here today. 2-1. Low. Whittington up 3-1. To avoid the hat trick, he struck out twice, though both of those were against Chris Rodriguez. 1. Tried to frame it. Home plate umpire didn't buy it, and it's ball 4. Leadoff man aboard here for Rough Riders. 3rd time they've gotten the leadoff guy on in this one. Nick Levenstein. Levenstein's also avoid wearing the hat. He struck out twice as well. Middle of the order, Chris Rodriguez with his getting it done against. Mark's looking to continue that idea. Popped away. Out of play and strike 1 on Levenstein. Ball. Great pitch there for Parks. Outside corner, it's 0-2. First. Whittington reaches the hand in there. He's back in time. Parks. Ground ball or the strikeout here. Before he does that, he'll pick off again. This time a little more casually. Gets back in easily. Parks shakes off a sign. Now finds the one he likes. Here comes the 0-2. Stein goes down and gets one and pokes it into right field for a base knock. What a piece of hitting there by Nick Levenstein. Got a pitch that was 3 or 4 inches off of the outside corner and just used his strength he has there from the left side to pull it into right. So a pair of runners aboard here for Hayden Harris. Started off the 5th inning with a single, came around to score. Extend his team's lead here. Mark starts him off with one out of the zone for ball 1. Popped up, right side. Richardson's shading the sun, comes in on it, makes the grab, and they'll hold at the respective bases. Pretty good idea. Richardson throws pretty well out of right field. Pop out to right that gets the out here for Isaac Parks. He still needs 2 more of them. Try and get the first one, maybe the second too, or the second I should say, and perhaps the 3rd one as well against Nico Hartojo. First and second, 1 away. First pitch. Go down to an E. Grab it. Golden ball and no strikes. A little bit of an iffy command, I would say, here in this 6th inning. Just trying to grind through it. Breaking ball, flying down left field. That's a base knock. We'll see if they send the runner. They will not. Whittington at third, and the bases are loaded here with one away. Play comes David Ducote. Tojo, by the way, has reached base 3 times. He's the only guy to do that today for Rough Riders. Singled twice and walked the other. Ducote has walked and grounded into a double play. Take his sacks. Mark Goodman will go to his bullpen. So new pitcher coming on here for Boulder. Bases loaded, one away, 3-2 Rough Riders. We'll be right back here on the Collegians broadcast.
Whole like head. I'm gonna have more tripods somehow.
On the pitch for the Collegians. Base loaded, one away. They're trying to hold the deficit at just one for the Collegians in the 7th inning. Keep in mind this is a 7-inning ball game as they've decided to play 2 here today. Well, how's that? Well, I don't know if decided is quite the right word, but they're making up the game from Friday, June the 21st, that got rained out. Ahead of the game that was originally scheduled today against the Rough Riders. Next pitch is outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Dakota. Kea pitched in that last game against the
You're really
Rough Riders.
quiet. You're super quiet. I don't know why.
He went 2 innings. No runs.
Oh, I know
1
why.
hit. His 2-0 pitch, fouled down the right field line, out of play. Kea has been having some arm issues. Been working on them, got some MRIs done, and evidently they came back negative as he's in the game here today. His 2-1, swing and a miss. Ducote went after a fastball out of the zone. So Kea's even up the count at 2. Kea comes to the Collegians from the University of Hawaii, Hilo. Hawaii native is John. Shakes off a couple of signs. Now has the one he wants, but Ducote will ask for time. Whittington at third, Levenstein's at second, and Hartojo at first. Hartojo's got the best speed out of those 3 guys. Levenstein's does not run particularly well at second. There's one high. Jimenez will backpick to first, and Hartojo back with a dive. So full count to Ducote. Nowhere to put him. 1 away here in the 6th. Collegians 6 outs left to work with offensively. They'll have the bottom of the 6th and the bottom of the 7th to try and at least even this one up. They're down 3-2. Trying to keep it at just 1 is John Kea. Here comes his 3-2. And Ducote fouls it away. Kea ready and waiting for Ducote on the mound. David is in from the right-hand batter's box. Kea delivers his payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Ducote went after a breaking ball that dove out of the bottom of the strike zone, and it's a huge out number 2 for John Kea. Evan Crenshaw will be tasked with trying to drive in that insurance run from third and the one from second here with 2 away. He struck out twice, both against Chris Rodriguez. Kea's first pitch in for a strike. Final line on Isaac Parks. Well, it's not final yet. Needs to strand that runner at third, but for him, he gives up just 2 hits, 1 walk. Kea will get a ground ball to third. Going to be a tough play. Charging is Roselle. Throwing on the run. It is in time to get him. Brennan Roselle able to charge and throw off of his right foot to get the out. And John Kea works out of danger. So now we can give you the final line on Isaac Parks. No runs allowed as he works through exactly an inning because he worked 2/3 of an inning in the 5th, 1/3 of an inning in the 6th. Gives up no runs. Great outing on the mound for Parks. Good job by John Kea to come in and pick him up here in the 6th as well. We'll move on to the bottom half of the inning. Collegians looking to even this one up when we come back. Kelby Richardson on to lead off the 6th inning of play here, or the bottom of the 6th inning of play here in Wheat Ridge. It'll be Richardson, Farrell, and Hudson in the inning for the Collegians, down 3-2. Tanner Kimenow back to work. Gets Richardson to ground one to the left side, but it's through into left field for a base knock. So Kelby Richardson stays hot here in Wheat Ridge. Boy, oh boy, does he like to hit here. He's 4 for 6 on the year here at Chuck Griffith Jr. Field. Probably could be 5 for 6 had there not been a nice play by Jordan McClellan in center to rob the first ball he hit tonight. So he's aboard, and we'll see a move to the bullpen from the Rough Riders. So Kimenau's afternoon is done. After a rough start for him, he came back and had a really nice inning in the 5th, but had the short leash here in the 6th inning. And they'll go to the bullpen, and on to pitch is Nick Schiffner. We'll get you all introduced to Schiffner when we come back, but for now, Collegians down 3-2. Leadoff man aboard here in the bottom of the 6th on the Collegians Broadcast Network. Kicks Farrell will stand in against Nick Schiffner. Bottom of the 6th inning. Runner at first. Collegians down a run. Schiffner's first offering. Farrell pops the bunt up. And a nice play made over there at third base by Crenshaw, diving into foul territory to grab it. And that will be the first out. So Farrell quickly gone here, and Hunter Hudson up to the bat. Schiffner on the year. He's thrown in 2 appearances. Hasn't pitched since June the 20th. In those 2 appearances, no earned runs. Just 1 1/3 innings worked for him. Largely, he's the team's right fielder, or he can play some infield as well. So, he's made a name for himself in this RMBL with what he can do with the bat, not necessarily what he does on the hill. But the Rough Riders will turn to him to try and hold the lead here. Schiffner was an all-star, as we mentioned, for the bat more than the pitching, as he's only thrown an inning and a third. There's 1-0 to Hudson. Hunter back up the middle, and gloved on by Ducote. Back to first for the double play. So well hit by Hudson up the middle, but Ducote was right there for it, and nothing Richardson could do. So the Collegians got the leadoff man, but their rally is snuffed out in short order. We'll head to the 7th. Still 3-2 for the Colorado Rough Riders in the lead. We'll be right back. John Kea trying to hold the deficit at just 1 for the Collegians going into the bottom of the 7th. He'll see Jeff Erickson as his first man to face in the 7th inning. 1-0 to Erickson. Jeff pops one down the left field line. Roselle going out. Here comes Kosteka, and Connor will take over and make the catch for the first out. That is the shortstop's ball if the left fielder can't get to it. Kosteka just a better angle on it than Roselle, who's going straight back. Back to the top of the order, and Jordan McClellan. McClellan today, a single in the first, and has struck out his last 2 times since then. Okay, his first offering to McClellan, swung on and missed. Okay, a nod yes to a sign from Jimenez. Here's his 0-1. Missed low with it, and that one will go through the glove of Jimenez back to the screen. Collectively, the Collegians have 11 strikeouts today. 8 for Rodriguez, 2 for Parks, and 1 for John Kea. 2-1 now. Here's the 2-1. This one popped high in the air. Out towards center. Amador calling off. Kicks Farrell, makes the grab. That'll be the second out.
Amador made the grab. Number 1. That's what I said. You said kicks. I say he calls off, kicks Farrell, and then makes the grab.
So 2 away in the inning. And Nick Schiffner coming to the bat. Now officially the pitcher on the lineup. And Schiffner takes strike 1. The Collegians have gotten most of their outs today, either through the pop-up or the strikeout. Only 3 ground ball outs through 6 2/3. Schiffner goes back up the middle with this one, and it'll be a base knock for Nick as he is aboard with 2 away. Now Tate Whittington will try and keep the inning going. Any insurance is good insurance, especially with only a 1-run lead. Whittington drew a walk in the 6th. Okay, looking to get him and get the Collegians back on the bats. First pitch from John in the dirt and blocked by Jimenez. Collegians will have 9-1-2. Nick Hall, Brendan Roselle, and Chris Amador in the bottom half of this inning. They look to tie it up and perhaps win it. Next pitch to Whittington, nearly comes in and gets him. Leaned out of the way. Schiffner takes off. Pitch is called a strike. Jimenez doesn't even bother to throw it down as Schiffner got a great jump. There was no chance for Chris to get him. So 2-1 here to Tate Whittington. Okay, ready? Schiffner takes off again. This one is flown towards right. Richardson back a couple of steps, grabs it, and that will end the inning. So John Kea gets him with a clean 7th inning. Collegians down by 1. They're going to try and win it here when we come back on the Collegians Broadcast Network. Finishing up his warm-up pitches as he tries to get what is essentially a 2-inning save for him, as he got all 3 outs in the 6th inning here against the Collegians. 3-2 our score. Rough Riders up by 1. Nick Hall, Brennan Roselle, and Chris Amador due up for the Collegians here in the 7th inning. Doubleheader action today from Wheat Ridge. They're making up a game from a couple Fridays ago, and they'll get into what was scheduled for today's game. Hall takes a strike. So that's why the Collegians are the home team here in Game 1, despite playing at Wheat Ridge. They figured things would be easier to, say, oh, well, it's not our home field. We'll be the home team, and we'll play both games today, then have these guys come back. This one off the glove of Schiffner. He grabs it off the ground and throws out Nick Hall. So Schiffner got just enough of it to keep it in front of him. Oftentimes you'll see that with the pitcher. He nicks it with the glove, and it holds it up enough that the second baseman or shortstop can't make a play. Not the case there. And there's one away in the inning for Brennan Roselle. Roselle 2 for 3 on the day. He's singled and doubled. They really need him to get on here. Schiffner's first offering to him missed low in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes to Roselle. Rough Riders looking for league win number 2. That one misses high. Their 1 win came against the Denver Pirates a week or so ago. Other than that, they've been pretty unsuccessful so far in the RMBL. But the interesting thing about it is all the teams in this league make the playoffs, and so you get on a hot streak, and all of a sudden you can win the league despite being the last place team. This one flown to McClellan in center. Jordan's got it for the second out. We'll see a pinch hitter now for Chris Amador. On to hit is the big first baseman, Turner Davis. Davis, I've got to imagine, will start in Game 2, but getting the first game off, save for this pinch hit appearance. Davis has 1 walk-off home run this year. Just trying to get on base and move the line down to Nick Arrivo in this at-bat. Wind is blowing in, has helped play this ballpark a little bigger than it actually is. And it's 2-0 now to Davis. And this is a guy who certainly has the green light. And a watch one low. 3 balls and no strikes to Davis. One pitch, one location. That's what Turner's sitting on here on 3-0. Here's the pitch. Didn't like that one. It's inside, ball 4. And the Collegians have a base runner here with 2 away. Up to the plate comes Nick Arrivo. And Turner, as soon as he enters the ball game, will exit for a courtesy run or a pinch runner, as Logan Coward comes on to run for him. Coward adding some speed on the base path as he's the tying run. Nick Arrivo, the winning run, up to the plate. Schiffner will step off the back of the mound, wander around for a moment while the umpire gets his lineup card all set. He's ready to go. Schiffner's ready to go, and Arrivo into the right-hand batter's box. First pitch to Arrivo, missed inside, ball 1. So it's 5 straight balls for Schiffner on the hill. Wonder if Nick will take till he gets the strike. 1-0. Missed in a similar spot. 2 balls and no strikes. Here comes the next one. And Arrivo pops it up. This one to right. Erickson coming in, makes the grab, and ends the ball game. So the Rough Riders pick up their second league win. They win this one 3-2. They're now 2-11 in the RMBL. The Collegians fall back to 10-10, 500 on the year in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. They're now 3.5 out of first place and 1 game behind the Game Day Saints. They'll have a chance to even the score here in about 30 minutes or so as we're playing doubleheader action from Wheat Ridge High School and Chuck Griffith Jr. Field. This time, though, the Rough Riders will be the home team, as this was the originally slated game about 30 minutes away from you here. We'll have it for you on the Collegians Broadcast Network, but we will step aside for about half an hour. This one goes to the Rough Riders. They win it 3-2. We'll talk to you in about 30 minutes.